This is KGW News at 5.
We begin with a warning from health officials tonight in Washington County. They're looking for the cause of a Legionnaires disease outbreak after 6 people got sick in the Murray Hill area of Beaverton. KGW's Alma McCarty joins us live from the newsroom. Alma, what does the public need to know about this?
Well, the half-dozen cases reported over the last 2 weeks are in people who live within 2 miles of Murray Boulevard and Shoals Ferry Road. They range in age from late 40s to early 80s, and 4 are hospitalized. Because the county hasn't identified where the outbreak stems from, leaders want everyone who lives around this area to be aware. Common sources include hot tubs, hot water tanks, AC units, and plumbing systems.
The current pattern of cases doesn't suggest that there is, for instance, a common cooling system or that the drinking water is contaminated. We have cases that are from totally different water systems. So we are really trying to take a broad look at all possible exposures.
It's not the first time we've talked about an outbreak like this in our area, but as a refresher, Legionnaires' disease is a severe type of pneumonia caused by a naturally occurring bacteria that thrives in warm water. You don't get it from other people or from drinking the water. Rather, people are infected by breathing in water vapor or droplets from a contaminated water source. It can be treated with antibiotics, but a lot of symptoms are similar to other diseases. Think cough, fever, confusion, muscle aches.
It overlaps with a lot of other conditions. The only way that you can distinguish it is by being evaluated. And so we really recommend that anybody having these symptoms talk to their healthcare provider.
I'll have more on how the county is working to pinpoint and mitigate the problem coming up tonight at 11.
All right, we'll see you then, Alma. The Gresham Police Department is facing a staffing shortage, and the president of the police union fears public safety is about to take a major hit. Right now, the department is down about a dozen of its 127 allotted officers. Even more are expected to leave in the coming months. This leaves the department stretched thin in patrol and investigations. Thomas Walker of the police union says Gresham PD plans to plug the holes by disbanding the neighborhood enforcement team, traffic unit, and transit division. Officers who typically work on these specially trained teams will be reassigned to patrol and investigations. Walker says public safety in Gresham will suffer.
And if we don't have people that are out there doing, active DUI enforcement, we know that could be disastrous. DUIs kill people.
This will pass. I am confident that we will be able to get back to full staffing. And I think public safety as a whole nationwide will see through this, and we will overcome it.
Gresham Police Chief Travis Goldberg plans to remedy the staffing shortage by focusing on recruiting new officers and retaining the officers he has. The chief says this won't happen overnight, though. In all likelihood, it will take months. An update on Sunday's shooting in Old Town. Portland police have identified the 2 victims who were killed in the shooting. The medical examiner says 37-year-old Ashley Walker and 47-year-old Daniel Davis both died from their gunshot wounds. There is no photo of Davis available at this time. Court documents show the alleged shooter, 45-year-old Michael Van Dommelen, told police voices in his head told him to shoot the victims. He also admitted to using meth earlier in the day. These 2 deaths mark the 71st and 72nd homicides in Portland, surpassing the record of 70 set back in 1987. 30 of Portland's most dangerous streets are getting some much-needed safety improvements. Devin Haskins explains some of the changes that are already in place.
The city says Southeast Tollgate is among its most dangerous streets in the city. And where it meets at Southeast 92nd, you've got what the city says is an intersection of 2 high crash corridors coming together.
In the last 5 years, 2 people have been killed at this intersection and 49 people have been injured.
PBOT installed new signs recently letting drivers know of the dangers here.
A lot of times people don't pay attention, but if they see that this is a high crash intersection, we're hoping that people pay more attention and actually will drive with more caution.
These 2 streets are among the 30 represented in orange on this map the city labels high crash corridors. 53 people have died in traffic-related crashes in Portland this year. PBOT says that's an increase of 17% from last year. In June, the City Council approved $450,000 to be used for safety improvements.
But what that really does is really accelerate those investments that we might make over a number of years, we can do in one construction season.
Improvements like placing no parking signs at 350 intersections to keep cars from parking right up to the intersection.
For both pedestrians and automobiles that are coming out onto a high traffic street like this, it's really hard to see if cars are parked all the way up to the curb.
And then there's the 20 leading crosswalks, where the walk signal lights up first before cars get the green light.
We want to get to a place in Portland where nobody dies on our roads because of a lack of transportation infrastructure.
Commissioner Joanne Hardesty says she hopes to secure more funding in the next fall budget process. In Southeast Portland, Devin Haskins, KGW News.
Oregon's college students are experiencing homelessness and housing insecurity at all-time highs. Portland State teamed up with a local church to find a solution for its students. Christelle Kumwe reports.
5. Yep.
After a long day at work,
And I can take the bars too. I work 3 days a week. This is cubby number 5.
and navigating both online and in-person classes at Portland State University.
Do homework at one of the places on campus.
Stevie Stevenson just wants a place to rest.
Okay, there. I have 3 pillows and 2 fluffy blankets.
That hasn't always been the case.
Hop from place to place or stay with friends or sleep here or there.
Stevie was without a permanent place to live after
Yes.
leaving an unsafe situation with a roommate before fall term at PSU.
When I lost my home, I thought I was gonna have to give that up. I thought, oh, I gotta withdraw. Like, I don't have any, how can I go to school when I don't have a place to stay?
But with the help of Portland State, she found a place to stay.
It's awesome, and I've made my little spot cozy. This is my little spot, very cozy and warm.
A pod at the Landing, a homeless shelter for PSU students. The school refers students to the temporary shelter, which officially opened last month.
Yeah, it really does help me focus on my daily life, because then I know that when I come back, I can take a shower, put on my PJs, lock up my stuff, and settle.
The shelter is run out of the First United Methodist Church of Portland in Southwest. The church initially raised the funds to start the shelter a few blocks from the PSU campus, and the community donated supplies to build the space.
These were made by church members many years ago and originally were meant to house families, so they're quite spacious.
There are 8 pods or rooms, each with a table, a cot, and a place for belongings. The shelter also has showers, Wi-Fi, laundry, and a pantry.
It's not a long-term solution, but it serves an immediate need for people who are experiencing sometimes very, very difficult situations. Hey, Stevie! Yay, you made it.
So far, 5 students use the free spots at the Landing each night, and more likely will need assistance. A PSU report from the fall of 2019 showed about 16% of students experienced homelessness within a year, while more than 44%, like Stevie, faced housing insecurity.
I just really hope that people get to know that this is here, because it's nice, it's quiet, it's peaceful.
Stevie hopes her stay at the pod will be a path to stable housing as she works through programs at PSU to find an affordable solution.
So I just want like a 1-bedroom, me and my dog and my partner and me going to work and going to school.
Christelle Kumwe,
Like that's
KGW News.
optimum.
I hope she gets all that. Well, a tiny home community for people who are homeless in Grants Pass has officially opened tonight. All Care Community Foundation and Rogue Retreat teamed up on the initiative to create Foundry Village. The 17 different tiny homes are described as detached bedrooms. A community building in the complex is also available for residents to shower and eat. The executive director of Rogue Retreat says the homes are intended to be temporary and to be used as a stepping stone for residents to get permanent, full-time housing.
We're trying to take people who can't help themselves, that have fallen into this well of homelessness. We're taking them, giving that hand up, putting them in a surrounding where they can get their dignity back and start to believe in themselves again, get that hope factor back.
McComas said they plan to move the first group of people in within the next week. Rogue Retreat said supportive services will be provided by its specialists and Grants Pass community partners. For nearly 4 decades, Oregon has been led by a Democratic governor, but Republican candidates want to change that in 2022. One of those hopefuls is Bend's Brandon Merritt, who was just one of 5 GOP candidates who met at the Bend Elks Lodge for a chance to debate issues challenging the state. Some of the questions posed to candidates focused on topics like education, reproductive rights, and taxes across the state. And with the state still facing a pandemic, Merritt says he's done with mask and vaccine mandates.
The reality is we are coming out of this pandemic, and there's no science behind the fact that we're putting masks on children in the most vulnerable years of their lives.
The 4 others in attendance, small business owner Amber Richardson, Baker City Mayor Carrie McQuiston, Alsea School Superintendent Mark Thielman, and conservative consultant Bridget Barton.